process. It's not difficult. It's not hard. But we have to tell them. We have to speak it. And we have the facts to back it up. And we're basing everything we're saying on truth. And that's all we need to do. We have to educate the black community. And once we educate them, we will change them. And what I can do, you can't do. Somebody say, why?
Why?
Because I'm black. It's simple as that. I can go into a black church, and I can say what I said, and they can look at it, they may not like it, but they won't argue with it, they won't debate it, because Winn is bringing facts. That's what's going to bring our change. And we can't wait till it's time for the next election, or the year just before the election, to get out and start getting this information out. This information got to be spread across the state of South Carolina. And actually, I would say it needs to be spread across the nation. That the Republican Party is the party of the people. Conservative living. We're becoming a society that anything and everything goes. I said to the congregation, and I hope you put that on YouTube. I hope you put this on YouTube because I would love to get the response for them. As a pastor of the church, I shared with my congregation, no two men going to come and ask me to marry them. It's not going to happen. No two women going to come and ask me to marry them. It's not going to happen. I believe marriage is between a man and a woman. Is that not the Republican principle? Why are we afraid to stand up on our principle? Why are we afraid to say, I'm not going to tolerate that in my life? I preached a sermon a couple of weeks ago, and I was dealing with that in verbatim. And one of the things I shared with the congregation, if I have a family member that want to marry, or they're gay, or they're homosexual, or whatever you want to call them, I'm not going to hate them. I'm not throwing any rocks at them, but I will tell them, your lifestyle is wrong. I'm not going to condone it. And I said, Tantamount, I have two daughters. My oldest daughter is 36, and she's divorced. And let me slow down a little, put it to you just like maybe you can get to just to what I'm saying. My daughter is 36, she's divorced. If my daughter was dating a married man as her father, I will confront her and say, Shannon, what you're doing is wrong. And I will not tolerate it. She's grown. She has her own place. She has the right to do what she wants to do. I mean, I have no choice. But he's not invited to the cookout. He can't come to the cookout. He's not coming to my house and sit around and look at the Super Bowl game, because once I allow that, then I condone what she's doing. I may not be able to stop you, but I'm going to tell you, and she's still my daughter. I'm going to love her. I'll be there, but I'm not afraid to tell you you are wrong. Now, as you're looking at this black blood born-again Baptist preacher, I want you to understand I am not perfect by no means. But I have this philosophy in life. We need to establish this rule. There are some lines you just don't cross. There are some things you just do not do. And there are some things you just do not accept in your life. And you don't accept it from your community. You're not accepted from your political leaders. You are not accepted from anybody. And boldly stand up and say what you are doing is wrong. My experience, I was telling Kevin, my experience it's just one of the most rich experiences I've ever had. And running has been one of the most wonderful things that I've ever done. It's worth its king ransom. It's just worth so much in what I've seen, what I've heard, what I've experienced, what I've learned more than anything else. I've learned people. You may not know this, but I'm fully, completely from a black community. I didn't have no white friends. Don't hold that against me, no gun. Didn't have any. I wasn't raised around white people. Just let me be frank. There's some of you that wasn't raised around black people to some degree. I lived in southeast Georgia. There was one white family 10 miles down the road. The bus would come and pick that one person up and pass us by. But as I began to grow, as I began to go and grow, the military changed me. Getting involved in law enforcement changed me. Just stepping out and just learning more about society. And guess what I've learned about the white community? Would y'all like to know? Thank you for asking. Y'all really want to know if I'm a black man?
Yeah, I want to hear that.
You like to hear that?
Yes, I would.
Here's what Winn is telling you, the difference between the black community and the white community. There's none. There's black people that hate white people. There's white people that hate black people. What we've learned, treat an individual as an individual and not as a group. We can't groupize a whole society of people. I treat an individual for the way that they treat me. That's what I've learned. That's what I've learned. And it has been a good lesson. That's what we have to, how we're going to have to embrace the black community. And I said we, meaning I'm here with you. You're going to have to embrace that black community by educating, and we're going to have to work through the churches. The churches has been the mega network for the black community for centuries. And ladies and gentlemen, don't you fool yourself unequivocally. It still is. That's our source. And you're going to have a black preacher, a black person in the black church helping bring in that black change in the black community. And I don't mind doing it. I've already started. I've started with my church and the church that I visited. And when I leave, I'm not leaving with anybody mad at me or anyone saying, Winn, man, you done lost your mind. People are saying, Winn, what you're saying makes sense. It makes sense. Stop. One of the things as I conclude, because keep in mind, the most dangerous thing you can do is give a black preacher an audience and think he's going to sit down in a few minutes. But I've learned to time myself. One of the things that I advocate and I've shared with people on consistency, and that is this. If you want to eradicate change, the change must come within you. You have to reach out to the black community. You don't have to do anything astronomical. Just help us get the message together. Help us get the message out throughout the state of South Carolina. And I believe if we do that, during our next election, you will see an astronomical change in the black community. Once again, what I'm learning is people are not fighting against what I'm saying. One of my neighbors, and I got to throw this at you, one of my neighbors I was buying some products, and I saw her at the store, and I handed her my card. And one of the things that I advocate, we teach our children not to follow the crowd. I think every parent has taught their child that, not to follow the crowd. We teach them that. And I said to them, what are we doing? We will become hypocrites. Why are you a Democrat? Or why are you a Republican? Mama was a Democrat. Daddy was a Democrat. Mama was a Republican. Daddy was a Republican. Have you looked at it for yourself and researched it for yourself? Is it because something, what are the values? Are the values conducive to your values? In a Democrat Party, values is not indicative of mine. Therefore, I've denounced it. And now I am a Republican. And let me throw this at you. I said I was going to stop like that. Throw this at you before I sit down. I was telling Kevin, as I ran, the first 3 months that I ran, I had to live down, what's the guy's name? Alvin Green. I had to live down Alvin Green. Now, when somebody told me, said, Winn, that you when it was brought to my attention, here's how it was brought to my attention. Old white guy came to me and he squared me off and said, are you a true Republican? I said, yes, sir, I am. And he said, look in my eyes. And I said, I'm looking in your eyes. If I can penetrate your soul any further, I can do that. And he said, you really mean that? I said, yes, I am. He said, I'm glad because I thought you might have been another Alvin Green. I was offended at first. I really was. But as I began to look at it, here's what I understood. Here's this black guy in Clarendon, Sumter, Florence, Darling County, running for Senate District 36. As a Republican, have this black man lost his mind? He has to be crazy. I had to live that down. And once people have seen me and heard me, then they evaluate it. Well, he may have some sense. He may not have all, but he has a whole lot more than the other person. So what I'm sharing with you, ladies and gentlemen, if we want to bring about a change, we're going to have to get out and work for it. Sitting down complaining. I'm constantly in meetings, and what I'm hearing is the same old verbiage over and over and over again. It's like I'm an old country boy. It's like a dog chasing his tail. He's kicking up a lot of dust, but he's not getting anywhere. We're gonna have to bring change. We're gonna have to change our whole direction. We're gonna have to change the whole psychology of how we think and how we do. If we want to make a change in this country. God bless you. Is my time all right?
Yeah, good.
Heaven smile upon you. And I hope that what I've said to you will stimulate something in your mind. Stop complaining about what didn't happen. Stop working on what you want to happen. And see what direction you need to go in to make it happen. Any questions? God bless you.
I have a question.
I may not have an answer, but go ahead.
But